Yo! Oh, wait. Now you can't see. Oh, no! Hold on! I got this. Don't worry. I got it. Boom. There you go. Soul, you're good. Yeah, we're waiting. Like, we were waiting on Galil to finish rebooting his computer because he was having some major... Well, not major. He was having some camera issues. But... and we're missing a kindred who is out there in the ether somewhere. So you know what? We just thought we'd get into this boss fight, but I'm pretty sure we're going to get defeated, and then we're just going to go ahead and jump into the game anyway. The Haveth arrived. So yes, we are here. Plus, then you get to hear the dramatic fighting music that I have playing.
There it goes. I was like, why didn't it do it? Okay.
So together we fight, but I'm pretty sure we're all going to... Kindred's probably prepared for January. I mean, you know, you're probably not wrong. Let me take off these names.
Ooh, it's so brutal right now. We're doomed.
Oh wow, you get the dramatic music as your turn goes.
All right, well, let's
28 damage.
gotta keep us alive.
Oop.
Nice.
Dreamy, it's up to you. You can do this. Come on, Dreamy.
Dreamy
Demoralize.
has 30 damage on hers.
Yeah, she can protect or she does a mortal strike. 80% when the boss is less than 50. So it's kind of one of those things where you have to like wait for it appropriately.
That way.
Yeah, it's fine. I can't read the text. I'm on my phone. It's okay. You did a thing. It's now up to the 3 heroes, although I feel like it's about to be the 2 heroes.
Oh, the Pumpkin King's gonna win. No
Yeah, you need like hardcore amounts of people to defeat these monsters, which, you know.
It's just level 1. Right?
Did seem like you were phoning it in. Ha ha ha. All right, here comes Galil. Looks like we stalled just long enough to save the day. Maybe. Let's move to 6.
All right, here we go.
I'm bringing back the game.
There we go.
Yeah, you did it.
Goodness.
Firebolt.
Iskra
surprised
used
Dreamy's
Firebolt.
still
It
alive.
was, I know. Well, it's because of that protect. I think is the only thing that's keeping you alive. But Dreamy, you're up next. What should Dreamy do? Do
Fight.
yeah, demoralize, mortal strike. Do a exclamation point mortal strike
As one word.
as one word. Mortal strike. Just might as well get this over with, because we gonna die.
Yes, we are. But hopefully not again anytime soon. And
Yeah.
Santos, right?
Yeah,
Right?
for
We
sure.
already did that once.
Yeah. In the meantime, thank you everybody for coming to hanging out last night. Kids on Bikes, we had an amazing time. Sunday night we had the Lord Dumplings with the Lord Dumplings in the kitchen. That was a whole heck of a lot of fun. And oh no, Dreamy's gone. Dreamy's toast. So yeah, so here we are, Tuesday, 2 weeks before the end of the year. Lots of excitement. This week has been fun so far. It has been fun, and the fun is just beginning. We have so much coming up in the year of 2023 that I am ridiculously excited for. And you would be too.
Tell us about any of it.
If I could find my notes. Oh, here we go. I mean, I could do all of those things, which I will do all of those things here in a moment. Now that we are here, but you know what? Now that we're here, we're gonna leave Iskra. Will Iskra defeat the final boss? Will she survive? Find out next time on The Game Bosses.
No.
Thank you for sacrificing yourself for me, Soul. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
You could have healed yourself.
You've saved yourself. Now the last. It was very
hero.
dramatic. Yeah, very dramatic. So I think without any further ado, because that was kind of, we don't really have much in the way of announcements except for this coming Monday. Don't forget. Oh no, this coming Monday. Don't forget, we do not have a Kids on Bikes. It will be coming back with the new year, the week after. I guess stay tuned for any other announcements that we got coming up. Check out our socials, see us on Discord, etc., etc. But for now, let's go ahead and jump into tonight's episode of Game of Santos because we have a lot to see.
Do we though?
Okay. Ooh. Turn that down a little bit.
Hello once again, everybody.
Hello, everybody. The Brigade of Eight have disguised themselves as mercenaries and music men for the Silken Trade Company.
And women.
Well, I'm using that as a term in general. Yes. Music people. Since they had reawoken from their defeat in Nethjet, some of the party had learned of their imperial benefactors, and to some extent, how for the time being, the goals of the diviners of Tiraturos, that's not even relevant right now. Xbox, shut up. The diviners of Tiraturos are aligned for some reason with that of the rebellion. For why are these high-ranking members of the Empire seeking the downfall of their own regime? A shared dreamwalk with Afriel, and now all the party is aware of this fact as well, leaving them with questions as to why the young god is willing to go along with this uneasy alignment of interests. As the party makes the journey to the city of Pirados, there are more and more curiosities as to the reason the party finds themselves in this particular set of circumstances. Lists of their descriptions being given to the headmasters of the Silken Trade Company. The curious cargo that is being shipped to a seemingly Edgewater city in this region of Thay. Silks, goods, and elder brain fluids, as well as the company seeking traveler that keeps his distance from the caravan yet seems curiously interested in those that are here. Does the party realize to what full extent their actions will have on the future of Faerun? Or do they float along the currents of fate, unaware of what might lurk around the river's bend? Everyone nods. Much remains to be seen, for they are not alone in these shifting events. Why, elsewhere in the world, echoing darkness across the veils of the world is not uncommon, especially at the boundaries of such a world when it is constantly on the verge of upheaval. In the Temple of Cacophony, at the edges of the burning volcano Arnrock in the Lake of Steam, the Sisterhood of Deimos maintain a vigilant eye on the point where the veil is weakest. Here, this island sits at a paradox point between the water, fire, earth, and air. From its outside, it appears a ruin, abandoned after some fiery cataclysm. Rumors of the wraith-like denizens that haunt the lifeless islands circulate around the villages and towns at the edges of the lake, keeping wanderers away and silencing those that know otherwise. The Sisterhood prefers it that way. Here in the depths of the temple, nestled in the abandoned-looking hallways, sits a particular place that is called the Kul Thal Ul, the Watch Room. A place of vigil in that echoing darkness, where not a moment goes by where eyes are not focused, not only inward, but outward as well.
Tendrils wrap like boneless fingers around the soul and body. The sensation of skin on gripping damp flesh crawl along the inner self. It is always a paradox, a maddening paradox of comfort and terror. Yet, the steady beat of the heart, pumping life-giving blood through the body, is the rhythm that separates the real from the perceived.
Kestra's body shudders as the vision's imagery takes hold. Her veiled face winces momentarily with the discordant sensations, trying to cling to that difference between the real, the imagined, and the other.
A being, not her, not me. Someone with great power stands on the brink, threatens to tip the scales of power. They are in danger of coming under the sway.
Kestra hunches her body forward over the rock stand that's before her, the shattered and broken mirror of Heshtesh flowing and orbiting around in front of her in reflective fragments. There are no saving graces during a vigil. The Sisterhood trains their members for this task, to watch the ebb and flow of things, to not look away. One of the fragments rotates enough to catch the glow coming from Kestra's eyes, and that light flashes back at her.
A human sits on his knees, bound by the skin of beasts, strapped down to rings on a cold stone floor under the light of an eerie blue-green flame. The chant around him is heard, and though the man might not know the abyssal words, His lips move, and he utters the words in unison.
Zul valan kirakdo. Zul vituvik kiratto. Zul tandaruvatik kotuk. Mavirar durantar. Mavirar errambatar. Kutam tiram varukira. Kamarakam se yunka.
The lashes around the man begin to ooze like a tar-like substance. It doesn't drip. It doesn't fall. It slowly flows up his arms, across his body, and finally over his face, his eyes opening in sudden fear as they're swallowed and encased. He is now formless and enveloped in the darkness, and that darkness moves, and it stares back at me. No, no.
Kestra feels the sudden cold shudder of release and opens her eyes to see the reflective shards of the plate sitting whole and unbroken on the pedestal. Around her, in the four corners of the room, 3 of her sisters writhe where they stand before the similar plates of Heshtash. Their movements are a blur before becoming still, and then blur once again. Although in actuality, they remain fixed, staring at the plates, the windows that see into all. None of them seem bothered, or have awoken from their vigil early as she has. The open doorway into the watchroom is suddenly filled with another sister, Shara, the current caretaker of this vigil. Kestra, you've awoken? The question seemed more statement.
Caretaker. Zul has gained someone of power. A man being swallowed by darkness, but then embraced by it. A great dark power roils beneath the surface.
Kestra seems to listen and understand. She straightens and steps back. Where? What kind of night? Why did the Brotherhood take him? Kestra looks lost. By all accounts, she should have probed deeper, found out more. But there was something different here this time. And she tells her all that she saw. Shara places a hand on Kestra and goes over to the other 3, one by one, whispering into their ears. For brief moments, the swaying stops and halts, and then continues as the sisters focus on the specific events that Kestra had seen, their plate fragments weaving around them once again, moving. And then, that's when the screams begin. Nishul is the first who screeches in an agonized wail as the bladed edges of her plate whirl violently around her. They spin in a fury through her body and begin careening across the room, the bloody pieces and reflective plate falling to the floor and shattering against the walls as the wooden woman suddenly loses control and expires in a bleeding heap onto the floor. No. Calypso falls next, and as her shards of Heshtash freeze around her forming a sphere, they begin to melt and ooze together. From the larger sections, inky tendrils latch themselves to her, and she is spun around violently, staring at her stunned sisters. Time seems to stand still for a moment, and her veil twists, revealing the beautiful tiefling face beneath. And then, in a moment it is over, the tendrils retract and in the process, rip Calypso apart. As they move, they pull the pieces of the woman back into the reflective surface, and little is left of her body besides the memory of the sound and crunch of bone and tearing of flesh and cloth, and then the shattering of more glass as the fragments fall and hit the floor. Arette is the last. From her fragments come bursts of some arcane electric energy that light her veil on fire as she begins to course across her body. She is lifted into the air, and in her dying scream is choked out as some unseen force grips her neck. She is flung across the room, slammed up against the wall before she falls limply to the ground. As some heartbeats begin to cease, others increase in volume, and for the first time in recent memory, no one is watching. No one guards the veil. Shara stands poised in a protective stance in front of Kestra, arms stretched, head darting from side to side as she backs her back towards the door. She mutters to herself, Lord Dimos, Enkal alukayaik, itayunumandaik, mituyatu. Once on the other side of the door, she raises her arms up and uses her magic to summon the stones down in place, sealing the room, creating a smooth surface over the wall, hiding what might have entered on the other side. In urgency, Shara turns back to Kestra. Sister, my child, are you all right? Are you all right? She says, trying to calm the wild-eyed woman who stands staring still at the wall.
Of all the gods' deeds, what on earth is this one?
Shara unveils herself and grasps onto Kestra, the orange-skinned tiefling beneath, searching the eyes of her sister with earnest concern. We need to speak to Ambrosia and Azrith. Tell them exactly what you saw. Everything. Exactly.
Exactly what I saw.
Okay. She grabs Kestra's hand, and together, the two race down the hall and up the stairs. The alarm will be sounded. Help will be sent for. There can be no tipping of the scales, or a war with the Thayan forces, and some returning dragon queen will be the last of the world's worries.
Wow.
Well, that was something.
But yeah, so there you have it. That's a thing that happened. Let me get back to everything that we had cooking.
Yeah. Meanwhile, across the desert of two.
Yeah, opening up the right things here. Where's my... Okay.
Oh, hey, it's a drummy.
Hey, Drummy.
Hello, welcome in. But yes, a quick shout out before we continue to Hannah Minshew there in the chat. Go see and check out her brother and friends over in Bards in New York. They have supported us multiple times with raids and are an amazing group of role players, and oh my gosh, they're great. So go check them out. But as that happens across the world, the rest of the party, having settled in for the rest period here in the day. Ardrin, during your trance, you smell the sweet petrichor of rain, the smell of the earth, and it is the first thing that comes across your senses before the rest of this memory fades in. You remember this particular instance as the rain pours over the cluster, the small village that you have spent so much time in. You can see the drops that slide down the webbing of the cocoon-like entrance that you are standing in right now. The water cutting small little rivulets in the ground just outside. The uplifting scent and warmth of the cup of tea in your hands as you bring it to your mouth, smelling of sweet honey and jasmine. You feel the presence at your side, and you know who it is. Vianne comes over to you, shoulder to shoulder. You've been doing an excellent job. The Underground appreciates the work that you have done for us. These, people you've been working with, do you trust them?
I trust them to do what needs to be done.
Do you think do you ever miss home?
Which home?
She looks over at you questioningly and starts to shift as Iridia stands before you. Which home? You have had so many. Surely you have to miss some of us. Some of them.
I miss the people that make it home.
She nuzzles into your shoulder and arm. And that smell of honey and jasmine is replaced with the sweet smell of roses. And what of this one? Do you find him as curious as I do? Your head pans over to your side, and there, curled up at the edges of this cluster, a boy wrapped in a blanket, looking peaceful and asleep. You recognize the form of Maxwell Argest.
I didn't have the kind of guidance that I needed when I was his age. But I suspect he's going through some of the same emotions. Maybe worse.
Even
who found me was you. I don't think he was so lucky.
She takes a couple of cautionary steps over to him, kneels down, and tucks a couple of strands of hair back behind his ear. True. I don't think he was as lucky. The poor dear. She looks over at you, and there's the slightest look of mischief to her eyes.
You wouldn't happen to know what has its grips on them, do you?
No, Faye. That much is certain. Perhaps with time, you'll open up. But for now, whatever it is that has him bound is deep-rooted and very dark. She stands, and as she stands, the world does this weird lifting. No longer do you find yourself in the safety of the cluster. You look about and you find yourself in the home of the Argas family. At least the shop that you had seen before. And Maxwell lays still, curled up in the blanket up against a shelf. On his back, the sword that wasn't there a moment ago. Iridia steps closer to you, looks over her shoulder at the boy. Something tells me you'll get your answers soon. But carefully. Show him the tenderness. But beware of the thorns. She leans up and gives you a kiss on the cheek.
He turns and, without looking, just blindly touches her cheek with his eyes closed. I do miss you.
Sure. You say that now.
It's hard to go fond from distance when you can kind of just pop in like this whenever you like.
Are you saying you want me to visit more often?
I'm saying it wouldn't upset me.
You have met so many new interesting friends. I do have to keep my eye on you, just in case. Wouldn't want you wandering off.
Oh, are you concerned about one in particular?
No. Maybe. But no.
Oh, you never struck me as the jealous type.
I never had a reason to. And maybe I don't. Who knows? Maybe I'm just playing games.
Well, I suppose some things never change.
She winks and walks out of your periphery. And you are left.
Feels
Right.
her kind of just sort of slip out of the grasp, fingertips trailing across her cheek as she leaves.
And you see, as this vision remains for the moment, the boy curled up. And now that you look, the sword laid across his lap that he holds onto, almost like a comforting pillow. You open your eyes and you find yourself in the spot where you had chosen to rest for the time being. You look over and you see where the small like lean-to that you had left Maxwell snuggled up beside Sonder. Just as you had seen in your vision. The cool twilight that encompasses this oasis as you guys start to come to eventually after your long rest.
I try and give him just a little bit of extra time, and I shift the blanket just a little bit higher. Just for that illusion of maybe a few minutes more of warmth.
Excellent. All right. So, as we start this next day, you all find yourselves waking up after some rest in this weird same twilight time that you had fallen asleep in. It's hard to tell whether the light outside is the source, is from the actual source, or if it's from the magic colorization that the dome presented itself. The way it had shielded you from the heat of the day. The only sign that the day had even passed is that you do feel a little bit warmer as the temperature seems to have heated up some, but now seems to be in the process of cooling. The people moving about the tent or tents and camp are starting to break camp and get things together. I know that we had talked before about you guys setting up some sort of watch system in place. So we'll say that because like Kindred had slept first and you were just sleeping now, he will be one of the ones that have been kind of keeping an eye on things over the course of the last few bits of the shift. So that way, it's for now, that's for the time being, the two elves can kind of like do those little batches of 4 hours and 4 hours. But undoubtedly, maybe like Galil and Jet and Colin probably helping out a little bit as well. Okay. Let's see here. Starting off, Iskra and Renan, as you guys had been sleeping in your tent and come to, is there anything that you wanted to do or speak with anybody before as you get started for the day?
Other than just going outside and kind of going through my stances again. That's the main thing.
Okay.
I'll wake up and put myself together. Then, stepping out of the tent, I'll sort of do a quick little greeting to Renan, and head down to the shore of this oasis, carrying the little ornate wooden box that Kindred had given to me with the note attached. And sitting down by the shore, maybe with my feet in the water, since it is the day and probably starting to get warm. Or has been warm if we've been sleeping all day.
Yeah.
And the sun is setting. I'll lift the lid of the box.
Makes sense in the fact that as the dome had kind of shielded the oasis, it kind of turns the sun's brightness into what appears like a moon. So you would know that the sun is starting to set, and therefore it is now that twilight time. I didn't think about that. That there was obviously a sun. So yes, you can definitely see the sun there. Oh, where am I at? Okay. So you sit by the edge of the water? You said?
I'm just gonna kind of examine the box itself for a minute before opening it up.
Okay. As you sit there at the edges of the water, you can see a couple of the larger saurian creatures coming to the water's edge and getting a little couple of drinks before they start getting their packs put on them and such. The chest is well carved, and the inlays of gold on it on the top is a symbol that looks somewhat familiar. It is almost like a star or a sun that has the points around the edges. And some sort of symbology in its center that gives the impression of a sun with like a road that goes towards it. For you as a player, this would be the same symbol that we see now as like the symbol that is used for the rebellion. That's symbology there. But it is carved there on the top. You can see what almost looks like a star points to it. You can see a little curvature of a crescent moon, and then that sun symbol there in the center, almost like a mixture of celestial bodies into this one symbol. You open the chest, and on the inside you see the curious little toy that Lady Morn had provided to you before.
Is it in the same state that I left it? The pieces of the puzzle box shifted with the glass orb exposed in the center?
The glass orb is exposed, but it now looks contracted, almost as if it has been shifted once again, but the orb still remains in its center, the pieces of it not spread out, but now closer together.
I'll kind of smile at it and pick it up. One day I'll know what you mean, I say to this thing, and holding it in, I'll pick it up in my left hand so I can pick it up and look down at my knight's tattoo at the same time.
As you do, the orb begins to glow a little bit. It lights a light alive on the inside.
Huh.
And then it lifts off your hand, almost as its own. Hello?
Hi, I didn't expect you to be talking. Is this a message from somewhere else? Crater, is that you? I'm out in the open right now. I don't know if this is the best time.
Iskra? The voice is disembodied, different, but the tone is familiar. It's a Tet.
What? It's great to hear from you. Hi.
This is strange. This is not all of me, but part.
Can you see around you right now?
The small little orb lifts up and starts to like shift around. I can. This is just. It's still strange and new. Afriel said that this might be something, an experiment we could try. So, I am partially here, but it's not all of me.
Even just having a piece of you here is so comforting.
The little orb immediately shifts back to look over at you, and you can see the little pieces of it kind of like starts to like move about, and almost like it's stretching itself in little bits. I've missed you.
Did you get the little statue I sent you, the art, the one that moves, that Athena made?
Yes. It kind of shifts and like looks down as if it's like searching for words. It's in that secret space. I made a shelf for things that I've gotten from your travels. Are you safe?
For now, I mean, in a manner of speaking, I mean, what we do is never safe, right? But
no, it's not.
But here I'm just a musician, so.
Right. I'm not sure what I am here. This is like a fragment, piece of me.
It doesn't hurt, does it? If you have to go, then...
No. This is the first time it's like a dream. Faint. Barely tangible, but real. No pain. Just a lot of... I have to concentrate.
I want to reach out and touch the object.
You reach out and you kind of like touch it, and it reacts almost like a cat. Just kind of nuzzles into your hand, into your palm a little bit, and it shifts a little bit. Here, yes. It dives down a little closer to the ground, and you see a light come from its inside, this little arcane flash of energy, and a like 5-inch tall Atet appears on the sand by your feet. And it just kind of like hovers down, just barely not touching the ground, and it creates this little arcane image of Atet.
Since I'm still seated, I kind of lean down towards the little figurine, the Atet Mini.
Wow. I don't know for how long I can do this, but for the time being, it's good to see you, even if you are in a large format.
And Galil didn't even do it to me this time.
You see a couple of times when the image seems to like shift and repeat itself, and then it sparks out. Okay. Short bursts. Got it. They're going to take some time to learn. But
So are we adventuring together now then, or is this temporary?
yes. I guess so. I can sense more. It'll take time. I will explain more as we go. As I figure it out for myself. This is like when I merged with the city for the first time. Vast pockets of undiscovered spaces, but it's all there. Same thing. Just keep me close. I can hear things and see things. Might be useful.
I'll keep you right here with me, of course.
The little arcane device kind of moves. Psst, 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 and then, like, compacts itself into a smaller case that you had seen when you had first been given it. A small little cube, no bigger than like a Rubik's Cube. Its eye temporarily covered by the little pieces that kind of like fit like moving puzzle.
I'm gonna hold the little cube format and kind of bring it up and give it a little hug.
There's this warmth that you feel. And the whisper in your mind. I'm close now. One of the creatures that are close by lets out a little bit of a wail. And you can see that they are starting to gather together to be prepared to leave.
For now, I will place the cube back in its really ornate box and pick that up and carry it under my arm.
Alrighty.
And, start taking care of what I need to get ready for the day. Making sure that my Santor is still tuned. Getting my water ready. Those sorts of things. With a little bit of a smile now.
Alright. Okay, let me get everybody else awake now. As everyone starts their day, I will say that, let me get the right paper out here. Not this one. I need this one. Arcadios gathers the group of mercenaries together. Did you guys? I don't remember because I probably should have like asked this before. You guys didn't have like a name for yourselves, did you already, or did I miss it?
The one that I had mentioned was the other guys.
All right. Cool.
So people are giving you trouble. You get the other guys.
Yep. Checks out. Okay.
And if you can find them.
So, Sonder, Sol, Galil, Kindred, Max, and Ardren are all gathered up together. Excellent job. You all have managed to keep us safe for one day so far. Are there any
0 days since last incident, so
Are there any questions you might have or concerns that you have noticed anything lacking in our caravan?
no, more just wondering if these sorts of obfuscated pit stops are going to be a regular thing, or is this just the one on the trip?
Unfortunately for us, this will be the one for now. The next destination is not as... The next two, actually, are not going to be as pleasant. We have to pass through the dunes first, and after that, the outside of a regions of the pillared forest. Before we finally, on the third day, will reach our destination.
Now, is there any particular areas of concern, or...
He seems to think about it for a minute. These last few days closer to the Pillar Forest tend to be slightly more inhabited. The
wildlife or people? Or
both.
yes? Yeah.
Both. So,
With other creatures besides things and small snakes and lizards that live in this area.
Sailfangs, large lizards and snakes. Saurians of the carnivorous variety. But generally, we don't see many of those until we get closer to the Pillar Forest. The sands themselves can be dangerous. Shifting sand, quicksands, false sand. And some of the realms here outside of Mount Thay during the spell plague suffered similar occurrences that you might find in the Anarach. Magic having torn parts of the land and transferred it into other things. False sands is a sort of animated, almost lifelike substance. Has minds of its own, after a very simple fashion.
We have run into something similar. They've turned themselves into wolves. The sand wolves. But dissipated back in the sand when we defeated them, so...
Good, so you are familiar with the kinds of dangers we might face.
So,
Some of them, anyways. I'm curious about the types of people inhabitants. What sort of people we expect in here?
Pirados is a peculiar city. It is part of Thay, but sits at the border. It's more of a entryway into Thay, I suppose. The people there are peculiar. Luckily for us, we will have little to do with the city itself. Our destination lies just slightly north of it, so we will be making our rounds around the city before we get to our destination, drop off the materials, then we will pass through the city to gather supplies, but not too close, and then head on our way back.
Well, I guess that means at least we have this little oasis to look forward to on the way back.
Indeed. Well, I'm going to go and report back to Liao. Do you have any thing that I need to transfer back to him?
I look to the others to see if they have anything.
Which I'm assuming is a no. Okay. All right.
Elegate has a like a growth on her leg, on his leg, like a mole, but for the dinosaur. Maybe I'll look into that. Just something I noticed.
Okay. I will pass that along to Kemevar. They are the resident caretaker for individuals, a veterinarian of sorts. In which case, if there are no other security concerns, then I will let you go about your duties and as we prepare to leave.
Hey,
Very well.
All right. He goes back to where the heads of the caravan's tent is currently being disassembled, ducking inside really quick. Renan, you had your fingers up. Sorry, I did not see it earlier.
Do we add the items to our inventory yet?
Yes. I guess then you would. Hold on. Beep boop, beep boop, beep boop. Yours. I will send to you in a second. Let me pull it up again.
Let me rename Puzzle Cube open to a tet.
A tet cube. Cubitet.
I kind of
Mini
just want to call
square.
it a tet.zip.
Yeah, yes.
EXE.
Rubik's a tet.
I'm totally calling it a tet.zip.
Okay. Open
Aaron,
Discord. Yes.
Wow.
is the cube a holocron?
No.
holocron? He says.
I don't know what that is.
Uh-huh.
It's not. No.
Is that no?
If the Jedi archives don't have it, it doesn't exist.
Well done.
Wow.
Okay, first of
Love
all,
it.
Knights of the Living Order.
Yeah. The Weavers. Yes. I sent that to you. That's basically what you're going to be adding once over. So I guess you've had that over the night. So it is considered under the secondary stage right now, the stirring. Stirring Dragon's Wrath weapon is what you will have.
Story.
Okay. These aren't the adventurers you're looking for. Thanks, Draconic Skull. Yes, exactly. I don't know what he's talking about. Just like those heartstrings aren't stirring. I don't know what you're talking about either. I'll have to go back and look at the chat because I on purposefully blocked it out because I had a feeling that people would be losing their minds. So it's
Are
fine.
you sharing it yet?
Do I
sharing,
what?
Are you sharing
You might need to close the sheet
Bizban's
and reopen it.
treasury?
Oh, yeah, maybe. Which, speaking of treasury, Sleeping Beardy has entered the room, so give me 1 second while I shift everyone.
No.
Oh no. Wow.
Beep boop, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop. There we go. I think everyone's in the right. Nope. Sol and Arjun.
Well, it's time to go to break.
Is that a beauty?
Actually, you know what? We can, so we can catch up on everything. If you want, it is 8:20, so it wouldn't be a terrible time. You might as well. Early enough.
About right.
The important things are you missed Arjun and I reuniting with our girlfriends. So, basically.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't know what you're talking about. All right. So on that note,
I
we're
had two.
You did have to.
on that note, we'll be right back. Guys, don't go anywhere. We'll take a quick little fiver. Here we go. Hello. We are back. Sutter will be coming back in a second, but we are ready to roll, as it were. All right. So, let me turn this tent off. Alrighty. So as you guys are gathering together, the tents are broken down, the supplies are brought up again, the last bits of feeding and watering and drinking, whatever, for the dinosaurs is provided, as everyone is gathered together once again, ready to proceed out. As the in the dome you can see that the sun is starting to set. You guys, as you exit, will see that it is already starting to show that those brilliant deep reds, oranges, and then as it kind of like goes up higher into the purples and blues of the night sky. As you guys start on your way, the path laid out, you guys start your move. How or in what order are you guys setting yourself up for guarding as the caravan goes?
The same as I was last time on my feather duster, that we can go anywhere.
Okay.
Above the group.
Alrighty, cool.
I assume Sonder and I are doing a little bit what we did the day before, where we would alternate kind of just going in a circle, kind of trailing up and down the sides of the caravan, alternating and taking turns like riding shotgun on one of the available dinosaurs. And I presume Max is either with me or maybe to give him something different to do today, put him up on the flying broom with Kindred if he's not afraid of heights, or at least we're going to find out.
That's up to you guys. You tell.
He can ride with me the first shift.
Okay.
I'll wake him up.
First shift.
I will say, so
Because
then
there will not be a second.
do you have him like in front of you or behind you?
He chooses.
We'll say with the nerves of being on, well, I don't know, there's a little bit of excitement of just like he gets to be on a flying thing that's flying in the air. There's a little bit of like he wants to be up front because he wants to feel like he's driving kind of thing.
He's on
but
front.
also like he kind of like looks at the back nervously, knowing that he can just grab onto you for dear life.
He's in front.
Okay, so he's gonna be in front, and you can see a little bit of that like the wide-eyed spectacle of it all, just like holding on to the broom tightly. You can see his knuckles turning white as he like grips on, and as it begins to lift off, there's a little bit of like that excited squeal, and then suddenly realizing, oh my god, this is really high up. As the higher you get, he's like and you can see his body just kind of tensing as he's trying to hold on and not realizing that he can loosen his grip a little bit. He's just like, have you you've done this before, right? As you guys go up higher and higher.
I'm before we get out of range, I'm gonna look down and message Arjun. Give us a few seconds. I'm gonna have a little fun. And then when he asks me that, just be like,
Within reason.
when he asks me that, I'm just gonna be like, only once before, but how much could it hurt? And we're just gonna go straight up.
You hear, as everyone from different parts of the caravan hear the collective scream of a child as he goes straight up into the air, getting a couple of laughs, chuckles, and a few pointings of just like as people are kind of like they're all on it. They're all on it.
Once they look down like ants down there, I just kind of will coast and just be like, just relax and breathe. And
We're gonna die. We're gonna die. This is it. This is how I die.
no, I won't let you die. I promised your father. Remember?
Question: if he's in front of you, then did you have him keep his sword on the ground?
It's up to him. I doubt he would have. So it's right in front of me.
You know what? If you don't say anything about him not wearing it, he's gonna wear it, but he's gonna shift it to the front.
Oh, god damn it.
And it's not even like if it's more of one of those things of like, if you don't say anything at all, he almost does it without, instinctually, not even thinking about it. He just shifts it to the front.
Well, maybe someone else is thinking for him.
He has his own strawberry.
Oh no.
So then, since you fucked up my plans, well,
sorry. I mean, he's still literally within.
I know.
Use
But while
the
we go,
G-forces to make the sword swing around.
we're just gonna keep spinning. While we go way up and we're just kind of coasting, Mal's in his little owl form at the very tip of the broom is gonna kind of jump on his other shoulder to try to calm him, and then just jump on the pommel of the sword and just see what he does.
Okay.
I like the idea of this tiny little like push ball of an owl just sort of doing like the flappy face as the air streams by it.
We'll say Mal's as because he's an owl, right? I was thinking he was still a snake. Okay.
Malzahar.
Mal's. Malzahar. Got it. Love it.
Chairman Mouse.
As you guys level out, and the owl, like, what is it? Describe what he looks like in owl form.
I will do one better. Give me a memento.
Oh, you have a picture. Ooh.
While that's happening,
He looks like this, but
how
just
are my-
tinier.
Okay.
1 second. Is it not going to show it? There it
In
is.
the back. Nice.
Hey. All right. So giant barn owl, but
That is not a
miniature-
barn
That is
owl.
a gray owl.
Oh, okay.
You heretic.
I don't know. It looks like a barn owl
Learn
to
your
me.
goddamn owls.
But the smaller kind, miniaturized, if you will.
Yes.
Got it.
Owl.
Pro owl.
Is it one more day, like one more long rest now, or was it the last long rest before my wings were in good enough condition to fly?
When did you do it last?
What do you mean?
You did it last, like, you did it as the night before, right? So you still have one more.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 down to 1.
Yes. So like tomorrow, basically, you can see like the feathers that were missing have now grown like halfway out or so. But you could probably fly, just not for probably any normally extended amounts of time. So you would say you still have
spend the majority of the day gliding around the caravan.
gliding. Probably it's just more of the flapping and going up higher that you might have some problems with.
Yeah.
Renan, when you finally fly again, I need you to carry Ardrin while you do it, so you can have a really Buzzed Woody moment.
Oh no.
I missed that. A really what moment?
But no, because
and Woody.
Kindred just turned Mouse into an owl. We can't even put a snake in his boot.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Easily.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think we
no.
have some people summon several snakes if you want.
That's when cut to my Orochimaru scene with my tongue.
I don't know why though. I don't know why I imagine Ardrin sleeps with his boots on though.
Iskra, where are you?
Which was
Tend to have your boots been under.
I was thinking it.
If we're traveling, if Lee doesn't request I be anywhere specific, since I spent more of my time on Acuna with the bigwigs of the merchant caravan last time, today I'm gonna try to spend more time with Bashin and her like rest bus smaller store, so that I get a feel for more of like the rest of the crew.
all right.
The common people of the caravan, the blue collar folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will be spending less time up on Acuna's head and more time actually down below, kind of trying to make conversation and see what kind of interests people have, so that I might choose a song to better entertain them, among other reasons. But that's one of them.
You're talking to who? The heads of the caravan, or you mean the general like people?
The heads.
Okay.
I'll still be on Acuna.
All right. Awesome. Give me a charisma roll of like you trying to be charming with these people.
Just straight charisma.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or persuade. I'm like, you could be persuasion, but
Hey, charisma.
I don't know why I asked that. I don't know that.
Intimidate them
I
while
don't
making
have
conversation.
I mean, yeah.
Suddenly, they all just T1000 into various blacksmiths.
I don't have any proficiencies in any of the charisma skills,
Yeah.
so it doesn't really matter.
Just fly down and grab me and throw me at them. I can help you out.
That is an 18.
18. All right, cool.
Not bad for no proficiency.
Huh?
Not bad for no proficiency.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get a +3, which is great and all, but still.
I'll say that as you are, they're not really, not too many of them are interested in like conversing with you. Hold on, I got a sneeze that's right there at the edge.
Wow.
It's gone. Never mind. Forget it.
And right now.
5.
Yeah, I know, right? No.
It's gonna be like a 10 sneeze cluster too.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Edging your
Shut up. they are more involved in a conversation amongst themselves, but occasionally will, talk to you as you chime in, I guess. But it seems that they are talking of a recent company that and actually this would have come from Vadu, the merchant of arms. From a recent story that he had heard before leaving Tiraturos, that a company had gone missing on the return trip from Pierados. That they had last been seen there, but then on the way back just kind of disappeared somewhere along the way. And you guys are traveling by night. By this point, you will say that it is like dark out. Since Kindred is kind of in the air watching, I guess you could say, is doing the lookout. I'm gonna have you roll a d6 for me.
Roll.
On this first night of Kindred, since he's the one kind of watching out.
Do you want white dragons? Because this is how you get white dragons.
Again.
True.
While I'm not taught, like any of the time that I do spend up on top,
That's the 4.
Okay.
Up on Acuna's head, I want to read the draconic runes that are on the Dragon's Wrath.
Okay. A 4. All right. Roll me a d4, if you will.
You encounter 1d4 tumbleweeds.
That's a 1.
Well, dust maspers.
One last thing I would. Does he let Mouse kind of rest on the pommel hilt, whatever it is, of his sword?
No. As Malzahar tries to land, he's just like, can you get him off? tries to like move him. Doesn't really want to push him off, even though it's like a bird and can fly. He just kind of like, can you get him off? Miles, I guess, can communicate with you mentally, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna send you a message.
Okay.
I think when I tried touching it once in kitty soul form,
He swatted you.
no, I want to say it like shocked me, or there was like spark or something.
And then he swatted you.
Mm-hmm.
Bad kitty.
All right. Moving to the next bit of that. Oh, this is a little more intense than I anticipated, but we'll go with it. As you guys are traveling, you see the path that you guys have been traveling. There is like a very definite beaten road, I guess, like a well-traveled path that you guys got back on once you had left that space. You know that the next space is you have to traverse the dunes. But there seems to be a massive dune, hundreds of feet high, that goes directly across the way that you were traveling. And
Nope, don't like that.
kind of zooming down, you see the caravan starts to slow, and the general consensus is this wasn't here before. And that the height, the massive height, I mean, it's like literally standing at a pile of sand that just goes up and up and up. And even though there is, if you were to be people on foot, it would take some effort and you could traverse. But with the creatures that you have to go around. And it looks like this had been blown in over the course of a couple of days or whatnot. The shifting sands and whatever. Arjun, what were you gonna say?
I use dancing lights, throwing them as far as I can towards Kindred as he's doing his little passes, and trying to flag him back down to me.
Okay.
Because I don't have any kind of messaging spell, so
It's just like use a light signals.
Well, yeah. And I would say that kind of conversation happens once everybody's back down and a couple of the heads have gathered together to kind of talk about what to do next. And but yeah, Kindred is flagged down to meet up with you.
Max, do you mind staying with them? I think Kindred, Point Blank and I need to go and take a little pass of whatever that is over there, just to make sure that everything's copacetic.
Okay. Do you have the caravan wait while you kind of check it out?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Actually, who here wants to come with? I got an idea. I'm gonna look at
Your
abandoning the entirety of the caravan, but maybe more than two of us should go, and I can make that easier. Now that I think about it.
Alrighty.
Well, the broom is only so long, so
Yeah, no, that's why I was going to cast a spell.
no takers. Okay, let's go.
I'll go.
All right. I cast fly on the two. Actually, I'll cast it on Kindred as well because I can do all three.
Okay.
And that way, in case something happens to the broom, he's not going to just sputter. He's got more room to maneuver.
Nice. Okay. So now you look like like Peter Pan. You can fly with a broom at your side. You're just like, wee.
It's just mouth on the broom.
Perfect. So we have Kindred, Galil, Ardrin. You guys have fly cast on you, and you cast off and fly into the air. I got ahead of myself. All right, so you go. Where are you guys? Once you guys are in the air, where are you guys going?
I'm gonna just go ahead of the giant dune and just look at it, see if it's natural, see if there's a trap waiting on the other side of it ahead of us.
I figured we'd kind of like break off as sort of three vectors, one kind of going straight ahead and the other two sort of rounding it and flanking it.
All right.
If that
All
makes sense.
Yeah. This dune looks like it goes on for quite a ways, and like either left or right. It doesn't start to slope downwards, but for at least maybe a mile in either direction.
Oh, wow.
But coasting up over the top is not that big of a deal, as it's probably a good 500 to 600 feet up before it crests over the top of that dune. And as you get over the top, you see, with the starry light and the moon's light that kind of pours down from above, a vast expanse of dunes out eastward. Several of them rather tall, maybe not as tall as this one that bars the way as much, but it looks like you have begun to enter into the dunes that they had spoken of just a little earlier than anticipated. But immediately coasting around, you don't see any sign of any traps laying in wait.
Does this
No
look like
signs
an
of extra
actual?
life.
Make a perception check for me. What were you gonna say, Arjun?
Does this look like it's a natural formation of a dune, or does this look like it's created somehow? Because this is giving me some Shai Halud Moadib vibes at the moment.
Definitely. Galil, when you did that, it reminds me that I think the next emote that I want to put in here is the Elmo one, where it's just like going like this.
It's the moon.
For all the natural toys, you can do like that. Like, yes.
I feel like I should get a percentage of all his nat 20s.
You should. With this dice, I fucking love this die.
That was the best Secret Santa's gift out of the bunch.
There we go. All right. So
27.
27. All right, cool. Then to that degree, Ardrin, it does look natural. There doesn't look like there's any sort of at least no, it doesn't look like it was formed by any sort of mechanical means. Magical means that doesn't seem to be like any immediate signs. It does have more of the undisturbed, as you guys are flying over it does have a very undisturbed sense to it. And maybe just for a little bit, as you guys fly up there and drag your fingers along the edges of the sand, you see how quickly they begin to shift and move downward on the back. So we'll say like on the backside.
That was going to be my next thing, is checking to see if this is actually physically there.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we've obviously slept inside an illusion, so it can't be on a quite large scale.
For sure. But yeah, no, it's dragging your hands along the edges of the sand. It doesn't seem like there is any illusion to this. And it is very loose, kind of giving you the idea that had you tried to go straight across, this would have been way perilous for the creatures, especially the larger ones, as it would have been extremely difficult. So, go ahead.
I would like to sort of like buzz up along Kindred and ask, anybody that of us that can actually kind of just cleave a path through it so we can just walk straight through?
I could, but it'll take a while.
Define a while.
Lots of time. We're better off just veering around it, making sure that path's kind of nice and tidy.
Going around would be at least a mile in either direction.
Well, seeing how we just took a rest, I can maybe start working on the next one as y'all go around the first.
Actually, were they the dunes after this one? Was it like this one where it's just a great big wall?
This
or
is
are
like
they
the
more just
biggest. This is
smaller?
the biggest one. There are large ones beyond this. It's just going to take some navigating around, but it can still be done.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
Okay. Never mind that idea then. I misunderstood.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Returning to the base with everybody else and giving the report of what you have seen and found, the decision is made to go either left or right. Or I guess north or south at this point, and just kind of going around. It will take you off the trail and you will lose some time, but nothing too terrible other than an inconvenience is had from this.
And how do the heads of this caravan actually feel about that detour? Does it sort of feel like this is just accepting something that happens normally? Does it seem like
It does. It does.
Like they're not going to miss a schedule, or
there is a little bit of talk of it being kind of putting a crunch on things, but it's not going to delay them too much to where they will be terribly off schedule. There is a little bit of nerves of just like, all right, well, we're just gonna basically have to keep pressing on faster than maybe the more relaxed pace that they had initially planned, but it's not going to be putting them too far behind schedule as long as there's no other deviations along the way.
Wait, how tall is this?
How
tall does the first dune?
This first dune is about 600 feet.
Okay, never mind.
Jesus.
To get to the very top.
Maybe 100. Yeah.
Oh no, but yeah, it's huge. It's a veritable wall of a mountain of sand. Unusual, but not unheard of for the dunes, as the shifting sands kind of create that little bit of a mess. Hello, Crimson. Welcome. Good to see you. Anything else you guys want to do as you guys navigate around? The rest of your trip is relatively peaceful. Anything that you're wanting to do or talk or accomplish in this traversing time?
When we were flying overhead, I would have taken not a picture, but like I would have used a minor image to sort of create a topographical map so I could show
plot the best route.
Yeah, plot the route with Kindred and Saunders' help, and then whoever works directly for the caravan that would be maybe more responsible for navigation.
That would be Sayuk.
Just because I figured he's probably done trips to this area many times, and he would at least know how to negotiate the shifting terrain.
Correct. Yeah, Sayuk is usually rides along with one of the Hadrosaurs. Saranat is this elven woman, and Sayuk is like this older elven man. You get the sense that they might be like the father-daughter kind of thing, and she's going to be learning the guide spot or the caravan head spot as they are traveling. But he's the one who kind of like is the one who maps out things and keeps an eye. Otherwise, the guards kind of report to him in that sense of like any obstacles that you guys would be coming to talk to him about it. But yeah, easily you guys probably would lose like half of a day's travel time, so you won't be able to get, it'll take a little longer to get to the next spot, but nothing that will be, it'll be less of a big tent pop-up and more kind of sleeping under the stars, as it were.
Sleeping rough.
Yeah, sleeping rough. So unless there is anything that you're wanting to do during this travel time, we'll go ahead and get to the next evening.
Sandra's just gonna try and, like Travis was saying, try to map out this route.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
It is 10.
Okay.
Did Soul already complete attuning to the whip, or does that take longer?
No, that was, you could have done that overnight. It's fine. On the actually, it was more of the, if you had spent like a short rest sort of thing, practicing with it and kind of getting used to it, then I counted it as attunement, which you had done with Sandra already a little bit before. So between that short rest and then the long rest, then yes, definitely attuned. All right. If nothing else, you guys get to
We've got a Renan.
You do. As you guys get to the end of the dunes, it has been a longer day or a longer night, and we'll say this starts pushing into the day that you normally would get to sleep through. So between a bunch of sand, as you guys have been traveling, it's kind of stayed in this very soft sand kind of situation. It gets to a point where the sand looks the same, but under the first few footsteps of the dinosaurs, you feel that it doesn't shift. It just kind of almost crunches a little bit, as if it's reached this cement-like hardness. It still looks the same, but it looks like it's all been turned into rock. And as you guys start to navigate along the bottom parts of the dune, you guys learn of that this section where you guys will be camping out is referred to as the Frozen Dunes. And basically these dunes, because of the magic of the spell plague, had all been turned to stone, but remain looking like sand. So you suddenly have these really tight ravines where the sand kind of comes down, and you're having to kind of navigate on each side before you get to a section where it looks like the sand had been blasted with some sort of like arcane magic or force, creating almost like tidal wave, and it creates a little bit of a shaded area where the party can kind of rest under the shade of the from the sun, basically keeping you shaded.
Like when lightning strikes in the desert, does that vitrification, I think is what it's called?
Kind of.
Looks like iron filings with a magnet turned on.
To a certain extent, yeah. It looks somewhere between that and maybe like a giant crashing wave that kind of had blown up over it and then just frozen in place to create enough of an overhang. And there's been carving done to kind of deepen it enough to where you have a little bit of an overhang of shade, and you guys can use that to bunker down for the day.
We set up for a meal.
I'm looking around in awe at this geographical feature, having never seen anything like it in my life.
Yeah, I would imagine. Let me.
I walk over to Iskra, given that we will need to perform momentarily. And just kind of walking over to her, seeing her kind of looking around. This is certainly something new even for me.
It's really amazing.
Certainly strange.
The way that the Earth has bent like a wave here, I find intriguing. I'm wondering if maybe I can learn something from it.
Learning congruencies between the elements is one of the most entertaining parts of learning how to control them. Not that I know much about most of the elements. Only one. And a little bit of water, but that's about it.
You know, you say control, and I would have agreed with that word once, but I'm starting to feel like it's more just having a deep understanding than control.
You want to know what's funny about that? I only use that word because you used to use it when talking about it to me.
Well, that is still, I guess, my default mode, but things are changing a little. I don't have to force it quite so much.
It would certainly be nice to not have to force such things. I'm glad that's where you're going with it. I wonder what what connections you can make between the water and the stone.
I hope to find that out myself. I look from the bottom of the like inner curve of the earthen like wave tube that is forming and look up to the top of it.
Do you think... Sorry, intrusive thought. Do you think that will ever fall?
Maybe someday, but I think that's a risk we'll have to take.
True enough. I wonder how far over that way I can stand tonight.
I'm sure we'll be fine for the night.
Let's go pay for our travel, I suppose.
Sure. So I had an idea today. There was an opera that had a love song at the that I learned back home. Exactly where does it make sense? If I played something from that, do you think you'd be able to kind of, pardon the expression, wing it?
Certainly, but you know, I think I have another thing that I could show you. Something that would make me not have to wing it quite so much. Kind of like flutters my wings a little bit.
All right. What's on your mind?
So, Aaron, are we kind of sheltered at all in any way from the rest of the people?
If you want to be.
Oops, ignore that.
Kindred!
My bad.
I would like to kind of take her off towards somewhere that is a little more sequestered. And I would like to show her how to use the tattoo to do encode thoughts.
Ooh. All right. Cool. Yeah. Go ahead.
While showing her, when I get the thought strand, the memory that I will focus on is the initial moments of when I first met Hirsonos. And I will hand it to her.
Okay. You just see him like basically. How would you describe pulling this memory out, Renan?
So, first I'll use the pattern on the tattoo to make it start, and I will touch my forehead, and very similar to the way that she's seen me do with this as a respect symbol, but touching the tattoo, and then I'll touch my forehead and just pull a thought strand out of it.
Okay.
And hand that to her.
So this is your memory that I'm now holding.
It is. Now, if you do the same, that same little pattern that I just showed you on yours, you will experience that memory.
This is some Demir craziness, let me tell you.
Oh, not the mirror.
Interesting you say that.
Okay, here goes nothing. And I'll hold it over to my mark and trace the pattern that he showed me.
As your fingers create the pattern, you see the memory ribbon strand kind of like swirl along your fingers, and it like dives into your skin as the memory becomes yours, and suddenly you have this flashing image accompanied by every other sensation from that moment.
You experience sitting upon a cliff of a giant floating mountain, staring out across a sky full of clouds with the sun starting to set. And suddenly, you can feel the presence of someone behind you. And when you turn, you find yourself looking at a seemingly Avarial man who has two almost black wings on his back. And he simply says, "Do you mind if I sit with you a while?" And the memory fades.
He's a more informal god than I imagined.
Informal is a good way to define him. That was a wonderful day for me, but I didn't think that you would want to experience flying through the sky and being somewhat yelled at by a mildly angry god. He was angry on my behalf for the way that I was treated by my father.
Were you already a follower of his then? Or was that the moment that you decided?
I couldn't have truly been a follower of his. My life up until that point was dictated to me every day. Study, prayer to the goddess of light, more study, proper manners, hold your fork this way, not that way. And he felt my heart yearning for freedom from that life. So he gave it to me. For no law under the land is to try to bind the champion of Hirsonos. They couldn't make me stay.
I'm glad you made that choice.
Me too. I've gotten to make so many good friends because of it, and see so many places. Now, your memory. Before you try to do that again, you have to focus on that memory and make it everything you see. And then trace the pattern and pull out the thought.
Right. Okay. Not a problem. Iskra gets very meditative, like she does when she is about to bend an element. And almost starts in a pose like that is what she's going to be doing. But instead of water, she reaches back to her own forehead and very gracefully extracts a strand of thought.
Very well done. Well, hopefully, assuming that I'm not going to experience something horrifying or something that I should not see.
Surgery.
No.
Do people get it wrong often?
The first time that I tried to do it, I accidentally gave the experience of eating the most god's awful fruit in any world. The
Accidentally on purpose.
The person that was teaching me how to do it promptly vomited on the floor. I feel bad about that day. Mostly.
Well, good luck for both our sakes. Here you go. DM, do you want me to roll for this? I'm in a creative mood. I can come up with a success or a fail memory.
Sure, go for it.
Okay.
Oh dear.
What am I rolling?
Intelligence.
Yeah.
History?
I was gonna say some sort of history, maybe, or you choose.
Insight.
Well, how would you like to approach this?
I mean, I of course
How would you like to
love
damage
use
Renan
insight.
Insight.
I mean, as a monk, I feel like there's a number of things that you could do because like you've learned to train your mind and your body, so
Great.
If
Reach
it's a
into the
failure-
wisdom center rather than
Yeah.
the intelligence one.
I still like intelligence. Just
I like accidentally showing Renan like an awkward date that Iskra had back in
date
Ravnica,
between
and
her
it just
and
does like
Ted.
psychic damage. No, before attack back in Ravnica. That like awkward teenage date.
oh no. Alright, let's see how this goes.
Okay, yeah. Alright, I feel like if I roll with insight, you would get more feelings, and if I roll with intelligence, you'd get more, like,
image.
actual descriptions of events. So, I guess, even though it's worse, I'm gonna roll with intelligence and see
Oh,
what
no.
happens.
Winning
Yeah.
potion now.
Last time Mr. had a stomach bug.
Oh no.
I accidentally learned how to throw a punch.
No, it's pretty low. I rolled an 8.
Okay. Awesome.
Poops on the floor.
Well, we'll say that as a nice medium, 10 would be like success. So
Yeah. So it looks like we'll be trying twice. That being said, does the pattern absorbs the strand? What do I experience?
No.
Okay.
Could have been worse. Could have been a critical
good
fail.
fail.
So
Yeah.
You see nothing but seasonal depression. That is accustomed to.
just comes out of the memory. Are you okay?
What would you like? What is the
So, I'm gonna, because it was an 8, so it's 2 away from a success, it's gonna be adjacent to the success. The first thing that you don't see, but you feel, someone pushing on your shoulder, and you hear a woman's voice saying, get up, come on. And your eyes blink awake, and there is a woman with snakes for hair, wearing like a bellhop outfit, essentially, standing next to you. Look, I like to drink on the job too, but we can't keep doing this. We're gonna miss our next gig. And all we have to do is watch the door. Here, put this on. She throws a pile of clothes at you that are just like hers. Red, gold piping, bellhop outfit, essentially. You groan. And the memory ends.
amazing?
Like like other than my eyes being open, like while I'm absorbing the memory, all the facial expressions that I've been making while you've been explaining this, I've been making in real time. And my eyes kind of flutter open. It's like, that was a strange outfit. And not entirely the memory I think you meant to give me. You did better than I did on my first try, though.
Okay, at risk of embarrassing myself, I'll try one more time, and that's it. Otherwise, I think I'm done.
We can just improvise.
All right. I'll say with advantage this time. You have the idea of how it goes.
Uh-huh.
All right, this time I got a 21.
Wow.
All right.
Someone to show off.
Perfect. All right.
Now it's
So
the rest of that day with that Gorgon lady.
this time, as you see the memory, you do see the same Gorgon woman in the same bellhop outfit. But this time, you are standing just beyond
Rubber
the
band?
interior doors of an opera house. There are goblins and people in mechanized suits walking around carrying big carts of refreshments to and serving them to patrons, carrying way more than they could have otherwise. Little martini glasses and things like that, but at an excess scale. At one point, one of the goblins comes over and says, "All right, ladies, doors are closed. You can go take a look if you want." And the Gorgon looks over at you, says, "What are we waiting for?" And you say, "Race you." And you both run off in the direction of one of the boxes. It's not completely sold out tonight, so you can sneak up there just fine. You sit down and begin to watch the opera, and it's absolutely lovely. The plot doesn't really matter so much because the music is what grabs you. In a memory within a memory, you start to think back to your time training with your friends at the academy. Some of the first lessons your teacher taught you about how you can use the structure of music to inform the way that you manipulate the elements. This song almost moves you to tears. In fact, it does. But in a sort of bittersweet way. And the memory ends.
This
Nice.
time, as my eyes open, I am physically, I've got the tears rolling down my face. Truly beautiful. And very good job.
Thank you. My life had a few twists and turns, but there are some good moments in it for sure.
Well, I certainly hope that some of the time with you as my friend is some of the happier moments.
It's been a mix so far, let me tell you.
Certainly.
But
I think I've
anyway,
got the
I was
song.
hoping to use that song, yeah. 'Cause she takes the little box that's been under her arm this whole time and opens it a crack. I've got someone here I'd like to play it for if she's listening.
Oh? I suppose you can explain that to me later. Let's go. Head off towards where people are getting ready for dinner.
All right. As this is more of a not so separated evening, you are, and the locale is very. Oh my gosh, what is the name of that very famous like amphitheater up in near New York? I think.
Amphitheater.
Yeah, isn't it like the one that's like built of stone? I feel like it starts with a C, and my brain is farting on what the actual name of it is. But it's a very famous one where people go and sing. This, it's not Calgary. It's gonna kick my brain trying to think of it the whole time. But basically, the setup is very much conducive to really great acoustics. And you guys now with this shared memory, perform this for the camp. Make me a performance check, if you will. The two of you with advantage.
The Coney Island Amphitheater?
No.
Right, I saw that, but are you sure it's an amphitheater or
I'm
just
glad
a
that was advantage.
Where's Kalama?
Oh yeah, I'm real freaking glad that was advantage. As a 21 now, it was almost a 6.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with mine. It was so close to a nat 20. I wish it would have been, but it's good. We have matched each other. I also rolled a 21.
Heck yeah.
circle and the
So
square.
that's kind of fun.
Nice. Yeah, we really meshed up on the energy here. Yeah, on the 6, Renan suddenly gets real pitchy.
All right. As you are singing, and everyone stops and listens, and your hidden party members, they're kind of staked out around the area as they kind of keep an eye, are able to listen to your performance. Your voice echoes out across this space in a beautiful display of talent, of which they have heard you before, but nothing like this. Where do you place this box kind of close by?
Yeah, the music box is right next to me, open.
Awesome.
And I'll also be doing like the light change stuff again. And the voice boom.
Okay.
Too.
Cool.
Loudening of the voice.
And before we start, too, I whisper down to the box, I'm so happy to see you.
All right.
With a passive perception of 18, do I hear this?
Probably.
Probably. All right. As everyone settles in for the evening, at the finish, there is a rousing applause from everyone as they cheer and clap. It's a little bit of a standing ovation from those who were not already standing, as they cheer you guys on with the song of your choice. Arjun, what were you gonna say?
Where's the knoll?
Make a perception check for me.
Can I do that as well? Because that was my question. Whatever.
Twirling
Sure.
his furry mustache.
Right.
Perfect music for my dastardly plan.
During this particular moment, or you just mean over the course of the evening?
Over the course of the day.
Okay.
Or travel.
Yeah, I mean, I would have done the same thing, but it doesn't matter now.
13.
9.
Let me see.
Who earns?
During the course of travel, that particular Knoll and his Sailfang stay well back from the group. What we're gonna say?
I was just going to say before, like you say anything, Kid Mouse have done a check as well with me, but it doesn't matter.
Okay. He's not gonna have really been hiding. He will have kind of joined everyone for dinner. You have seen him watch the performance and watch everyone else, and he's kind of engaged a couple of times with a few of the random people here in the caravan, but he sticks to himself. And once he is finished with his meal, goes over to where his Sailfang is at the very corners of this cooling space, and he's set up for himself his own little tent, and he has sheltered himself inside. There's a couple of tents that are raised over the course of dinner, mostly to kind of block up the sun, the open side, to kind of make it a little more shaded and a little easier to sleep once people are starting to settle in for the evening. But this not being an oasis, it is still gets pretty hot pretty quick, making it a little uncomfortable to sleep, as it is still kind of bright, but shaded by they bring up some like heavy tarps, and they're more like lean-to half tents that are used to kind of give you some shade and give you some shade from the sun. Respite, yeah. But if there is anything else you guys are wanting to do as you settle in for the evening?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So as the night progresses, I set up I have 4 alarms I can do every night, so I just set them up wherever they're best needed, either around inventory or animals. Set those
Inventory animals.
Inventanimals.
Not that.
And then after I kind of get settled and everything's quieted down, mostly I say for the night, but it's for the day. I call the group, except for the musicians, if they could meet me at my dome. And as I've set up my dome, and just kind of waiting for the group to converge in.
Does that include Max?
It does not. I'll wait till he's eating.
Or you could have him stand guard.
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Or that.
Keep an eye on the musicians.
We don't trust them.
Okay. He gets
tap.
He gets his sword. He gets the sword out and places it in the front, very much like a knight kind of stance, or like the armor that you'll see in the you know what I'm talking about, the knight armor that just kind of stands there with the sword placed in front of him. He stands there, kind of very sourly looking, not too far off from where the dome is, but keeping an eye on Iskra and Renan as they finish through the next song, and then also keeping an eye on the dome.
So as y'all converge, y'all see me kind of sitting there, just contemplating things. And when most of y'all have gathered in, I'm like, oh, been thinking about this throughout the day, or night, and it just makes sense. And I just kind of reach in my pocket and pull out a stack of gold coins. And just kind of like when you have those poker chips that you just kind of do that to them. And then out of nowhere, the little elemental appears and just hand them off to him, and then he goes zooming off. And just wait there a couple of seconds, and then he just pops right back up, and he is in front of me, so that way when I open the chest, y'all can't quite see what's in it. No more secrets. I'm trying. And I just mage hand, and out from the chest you see the mushroom kind of hoisted up in the air. And my other hand comes out below it, and I just firebolt up and destroy it. So it just casts a flame.
It burns and crackles in the air. And it burns.
Insight check.
And it burns.
What the fuck? I did it right in front of you. No.
And it burns.
Yeah,
and you can see it
high off of this,
and you can see it start to slowly wither and get smaller.
In the dome.
And and it gets crunched.
Did you just kill all of us?
Like it just curls up in itself, but it just burns a lot longer than you would have imagined it.
Does it
to have taken?
Do we smell something burning? Like the main reason why I was doing inside check. Is this an illusion? Did he just?
Oh no! You smell a stench.
Really?
Yes, you smell. Everyone smells. You all smell. You do smell
I've been on the road all day in heat.
You do smell the acrid stench of something burning. The smoke. And then there's like a subtle, it's like getting mustard in your nose. It almost starts to sting a little bit. And you kind of almost want to like cover it. It's not necessarily a hot box, because I think you can like let it goes out. But it's definitely like fills the dome with a little bit of a. It's like something burning, but yeah, with like this weird acidic undertone to it.
Mace.
For Galil,
Ceviche. No.
What's
you stare at this burning mushroom. And the smell as it goes through your nostrils brings flashes of memory with it. A flash, you see the purpled skin, the purpled winged cloak wrapped around the body. The quick, look over the shoulder of Rubrion. Both forms, as you had seen him first and as you had seen him later, like the one over the other, kind of just like switching back and forth. And then the memory fades as the last of the mushroom is burnt away. There's little bits of ash that kind of start to fall down around in front of Kindred.
I don't think that's healthy for us to breathe in. But I appreciate the sentiment.
So a lot just happened there.
There's a lot to unpack here.
So you still had the mushroom.
Well, we knew that already.
I forgot about it with everything that's been going on. Why keep it but then destroy it now?
Because remember what you saw with Carp the other night?
Remind me.
The web of lights in the darkness connecting all to each other. The weird flames and tendrils and shadow shit.
Yeah, I do.
Like,
That's
no,
why.
I just forgot about it. Damn it! Why'd you bring it back up?
But why did that change your mind? Because we saw it?
No. Because that's not what I want.
Well,
That
you
wasn't-
saw it from Galil's perspective, rather than your own, for once.
No, I saw it in my own, and even then that was not the norm whenever I would talk to Strawberry. This was different. And I feel I may have gotten some insight as to maybe a true darker purpose of what it was or is. But
So what was it then?
I don't know.
Is that what strawberry is?
I don't know. But this is the first step into proving that I don't want that. As I'm kind of staring more at Galil in the eyes, watching his reaction.
Well, I am glad that you are trying to be more a truthful kindred, and I give you a hearty smack in the back, probably a little too
God
hard.
damn it! So,
The dome breaks down.
Kindred
lose
flies out of the dome.
concentration.
Boom, is gone.
If
yeah,
you're
but it
committed,
does kind of like, oh.
if you're committed to this course, would you allow me to try something? On Galil as well.
On me? Why me?
Just in case there's anything lingering. I don't know if I could even do anything, but it's worth trying.
I still get worried about the mind, but just go for it.
I ain't gonna do nothing with the mind. He's kind of just sort of rubbing his hands together to the point where there's this slight prismatic static building up around his hands, and he kind of looks at both of them like as it's gradually building and building, looking at them for that last moment of consent. Waiting for Galil's answer on that.
Go for it.
And I'm going to, for the sake of flavor, I'm just going to be dual casting Remove Curse. And as he reaches out, it kind of just reaches a bright flash, which I hope is dulled by the interior of the dome.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
We're all blinded now, but that's okay.
There's a little. That's fine. There's
Small
a little
price to pay.
Exactly. There's a little bit of like, nope, that's the wrong button. Oh, that just sounds like you.
It's alive. It's alive.
That's a little more of electrocution.
What am I doing in the dome?
Yeah.
I was going to say Gene Wilder, but all right, that works too.
A little bit of that, like a little electric, like zappy, glitchy noises that kind of course through through both of you. All right. And this is at what level are you casting this on?
This is cast at... Well, everything I do is at 5th level. At your touch, all curses affecting one creature or object end. If the object is a cursed magic item, its curse remains, but the spell breaks its owner's attunement to the object, so it can be removed or discarded.
Ooh. Nice.
So,
I
think you roll on Dispel is where it.
Yeah. The you guys feel the little bit of the pringly zap go through your bodies, and it gives you that pringled sensation of
Once you pop, the fun don't stop.
I was literally about to say that. Fuck you.
Oh my God. I hate you so much.
It gives you that pringly sensation of now. More of the like when your body is you've been sleeping on your hand or your arm too long and it kind of just starts to fall asleep. You kind of feel that coursing through your body and almost like a bit of a minty, refreshing feeling. Good night, Hannah. Thanks for hanging out. Have fun. Say hello to everyone. You guys are saying, and you kind of look at each other, and there's no immediate telltale signs of feeling any different. But for the lasting, that little remnant of after effect of the spell, a little bit of a smell of rose petals.
You couldn't have done this whenever I had the hands.
The hands. Oh, that hand.
Yeah, I didn't have access to it then.
Those were creepy. They felt weird.
Do you feel any different, or?
I feel vulnerable.
Well, hitting rock bottom might be good for you then.
Okay, y'all can stop staring at me.
Arjun is actually going to touch Kindred's shoulder, and he's going to lean in, and he'll say very quietly to him whether or not anybody's sticking around or filing out. I'm proud of you for at least trying. Thank you. And he'll just step out.
Gives Kindred another hearty smack in the back.
Flies out the other direction.
And one last thing.
He takes out another mushroom.
That's the duplicate that Hibby was propagating for me. No.
Now this one, everybody takes a bite and go sit down, wait half an hour.
Nice.
It's a blood orange this time.
Who wants to be their best selves?
After more or
Or
less we
banana.
all bunked down for the night, I traced some things and reach in and pull out an invisible dog treat and kind of just toss it right outside the dome. It's like,
It just vanishes.
well, no, it doesn't because it's invisible. No.
It vanishes, it double vanishes. Double invisibility.
Funny if as it gets bit, it loses its effect. So like just for a minute, you see like crunching.
But it's like Muppet Cookie Monster style munching, so it just like it doesn't actually go anywhere.
Just
it
crumbs
just
are
falls.
falling.
But then the crumbs disappear as the invisible dog eats them.
Right, there's gonna be invisible piles of boo everywhere.
And I just kind of give a heads up. Don't come near me for the night. Unless, well, you'll find out. It's like Hesborn Kind's faithful hound.
Nice. Alrighty. Anything else you guys are wanting to do before the night?
Oh, if we do need to go near you, will you give us the password?
Just tell Mal's.
The little owl sits on a nearby rock.
Your choice.
The night, quote unquote.
Yeah, quote unquote.
Right.
Soul's gonna ask Sonder for a wash up real quick since there's no oasis here.
Yeah. I'll take out the decanter. Place it upright.
Geyser!
And Geyser, yeah. And then I'll take that. I'll take that and just kind of rain it down on you. That'll work.
Like a flash dance thing.
Yeah.
Perfect. Renan, you had your hands up first. What was it?
Before going into trance, I will be once again doing the cure wounds and lesser restoration on myself.
Okay, cool.
And then I will prestidigitation, I believe, for cleanup. Yeah, and I'll do kind of a spot check on myself, like one over here, just clean up the sweaty areas.
Sure.
With the areas that you think aren't sweaty, but are slowly building.
He's got nose deaf to everything else.
Well, I'm certain that it still would mean I'm one of the better smelling people in this caravan.
You think?
Yeah.
Alrighty, cool.
I'm the one who actually bathes.
I'm constantly taking a shower.
Oh, good. You smell like water.
You smell like
Great.
wet dog. Okay. Arjun, go for it. What were we gonna say?
Arjun's gonna try and find Galil.
Alrighty.
Just gonna try and trot up next to him after everybody's kind of filed out from the dome and just.
Nope, not this one.
How you feeling about that?
I still feel the same.
Well, about how or what he did just now.
About Kindred shutting us out.
Did he gain more trust or lose it, or is it about the same?
When it comes to Kindred, I know to keep your guard up.
Yeah, I've been gathering that.
I'm just hoping that he does get better.
You've also been pretty close to what he's been saying. Just the other side of it. And pretty recent. How you doing with that?
I'm doing good.
Are you sure?
For now.
Look, obviously I haven't been in the group as long as they Iceman has, but maybe my lack of involvement would be good if you want to talk about it at some point.
Of course.
And I just leave it at that and go check on Max. See if he's keeping duty or if he fell asleep hugging his own sword.
Okie dokie. As you guys are settling in, I guess Arjun, you'll be the first. Maybe you and Galil are first watch for those first couple hours.
Possibly with Max, but Max doesn't really count. I like the idea that he's probably still trying to tough it out. And then
Sure. Yeah.
40
Okay.
minutes later, he starts kind of just listing out, and we just sort of send him off to Sonder.
All right, cool. Yeah, for sure. He will definitely try and stay awake with you as you guys make your little rounds around the crescent-shaped camp that is now pressed up against the back end of this wave, if you will. Yeah, he walks around with you. Very much like mimicking your moves and walk and gaze as you look about places.
Yeah, I think that's about what we're doing.
Okay. I didn't know if there was anything that you had wanted to like speak to him about or whatever.
Not right this second, but when he's a little bit more awake, because it's kind of one of those moments where we're trying to tucker him out so he can just pass out.
Got it.
Burn off that residual energy.
All right. So anything else you guys are wanting to do before the night's done, or is that about it? No?
Zonder's gonna do his normal, just praying, meditation and practice.
Okay. Alrighty.
Cole will join Sonder in the meditation part. He's been practicing.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. No sweat. Renan, what are you gonna say? Renan.
Everything froze. Sorry, everything.
Yeah,
else
everything froze for
froze.
me too.
Okay.
I think it was us because I also
Yeah, I
did
think
it
it
too.
was
Just do too. Yeah.
I will offer to. When did you change your name? I was gonna say Iris, and now I'm confused if we're talking about somebody else.
Sorry, it was a joke from earlier.
I will ask Iris if she would like to go through some more poses before going to sleep.
Yeah, I think I could stand to do a little bit of that.
Perhaps you can teach me some more of the unarmed combat part. When it comes to me actually fighting, I prefer to have an actual weapon.
When these are your weapons, and I look at my hands and then tap my canteen, make sure that you can get out of most situations.
Very true. And nobody can take them away from you.
Well, I mean, they could.
I certainly hope not. My weapons are easier to get back.
All right, so do you want to start or me?
I suppose I will leave it to the master on this.
Okay, so the most important thing before we even get into any of the hand movements is your stance. And we'll just begin to train.
Yeah, As going through like different motions, I'm trying to keep my wings as closely folded as I can so that they're not impeding, and find that doesn't work, so they end up more splayed out wider, and I just keep shifting from open to close, like one or the other or both, in order to be able to shift quickly, but struggling to match Iskra's vibe.
Oh, so as I say the stance motion or the stance statement, I go, we have two core principles that underline everything in our world, at least from what I believe, what my guild believes. The hold fast, it is stability, it is constancy. In overabundance, it's stagnation, but you need that right now for your feet. And the upwelling, that's change, adaptation. You need that for your arms. Keep these both in mind. They're gonna keep coming back. And actually, I'd love to tell you more, but I feel like if we get too deep into this, people might catch on that we're not just musicians.
True. But, to be fair, I have been walking around with a pair of swords.
Right, but so far, I'm just a pretty face.
Very fair. Then perhaps just going through more of the meditative poses then.
Okay, maybe it's best that you understand the concepts first, anyway.
Very true. It may be difficult for me to learn how to root myself.
It's not so much rooting as these concepts come from the sea. So, there's an ocean under the world as big as all of the walkable area of the city. Maybe even bigger. And she just continues to go into that.
Nice.
So I'm basically getting a brief fundamental background of Ravnica?
Ravnica. Yes.
I mean,
Alright,
you're kind
little
of
bit.
learning a little bit about Ravnica, but more specifically, you're knowing the things that you need to know so you can really internalize the ideas behind the holdfast and upwelling notions that the Simic find central to their ideology. Because without that, you can't start thinking about the elements or her fighting style or anything. Those have to come first. Unless you already have a little bit of background, like Sonder, who's already a monk, we can just kind of trade styles. Because even though we come from different schools of thought, we've learned along kind of parallel tracks.
So
Yeah.
to teach him 6 months of musical theory before he can even touch an instrument.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way our academy went.
So I'll say if you guys keep this up over the course of the next couple of days, you might be able to get a little something out of this, Renan. Perhaps like an advantage to get out of grapple checks or something like that.
That'd be cool.
Nice. Yeah, that'd be cool. All right. I am down for it.
Every blacksmith just got to level up.
The little words at the bottom. The blacksmiths of the world have gotten harder.
And in other
Yes.
word choice. And in kind of a turn aspect, I will, during moments when she's not projecting those tenets or those ideologies, I will be making the connection between those and Renan's innate connection to the wind and the things he feels.
Alrighty.
You notice probably a bit of clashing at some points, but you find that it holds well to some of the upwelling schools of thought.
Okay. As you guys are practicing, we are gonna say Perindle comes over to you two, and then comes over to Iskra in particular. I'm sorry for interrupting what some free time that you might have, but I have a request from Lady Vadi. If you would please come with me.
I'd be happy to honor it. Excuse me. Do you need both of us?
No.
Ilo and I'll talk to you later.
Of course. Thank you for the insights. And I kind of nod down at both of them, and then I will sequester myself off towards the edge of camp, closer to the open area, and start prayers.
Okay.
I stand back up, straighten my performer's outfit just a little bit, and follow Perindle.
All right. He brings you over to the small personal tent of Kadassia Vadi as one of the headmasters, the merchant of oddities here with the Silken Trade Company. He parts the tent and gestures for you to go inside. Inside the darkened space, what were we going to say?
Right as I'm going in, I'm going to Spy's Murmur Travis. Like, meeting Kadassia unexpectedly, one-on-one.
Understood. I'll make myself available if need a distraction or something.
Okay. Do you...
Going to continue his rounds.
Okay.
Oh, it's been a while since we've had a Spies Murmur broadcast moment.
Are you gonna, I was about to ask, are you going to be broadcasting?
I think only the two of us have them. So
Yeah.
Oh gosh, would Iskra remember that that's a function of the Spies Murmur? Probably.
I mean, probably. It hasn't been that.
2 weeks.
I mean,
it was just a couple of days ago for you.
yeah.
So okay, yeah, I'll broadcast. Why not?
Okay.
That doesn't feel too meta to remember to do, so I'll do it.
Nah. Okay. Let's change this.
In Ravnica, was Iskra the kind of person who would walk around with the equivalent of a cell phone, like sort of like this rather than like this?
I wouldn't say so.
Okay, go this one. That's fine. Inside, you see the same kind of setup that Ardrin had seen. So, like, very simple, like, setup of just a little cot with a blanket, a small lantern that provides dim light, but a very dark and tense space. Lady Kadassia is currently sitting at the edges of her bed with a book out in front of her that she seems to have been going over, and as you come in, she closes the book and gestures for a little fold-out seat that sits across from her.
Thank you. I take the seat. Try to sit politely.
You can be relaxed. Liao told me of his arrangement in having you watch some of the goings on of the caravan.
Yeah, I do what I can to keep an eye open.
Anything of interest that you have seen so far?
During this last ride, when I was hanging out more with Bashan and her place where people are trading off and resting, have I seen anything of note?
No. Everything's been pretty, ordinary as far as you know for a caravan wise. There's been no real secret dealings or any suspicious behavior from amongst anybody else.
No special intrigues. The mercenaries with the boy that they're training, he seems quite eager. I don't know whether he's been on many more journeys, but I can't imagine more than one or two.
Perceptive. That's actually part of the reason why I had whom I should say I had intended that question toward. What have you noticed about this particular mercenary group? Anything in particularly curious about them, other than clearly I don't believe that child is any of theirs. There's no resemblance.
Well, found family is not too uncommon, especially
True.
in the far reaches of this world, beyond the Empire.
There is one amongst them, the drow fellow. What can you tell me about him that you've noticed?
He appears to be something of a leader for the group.
I'm going to let you in on a little more than perhaps Liao has told you. She opens the front cover of her book and takes out a sheet of paper. Hands it over to you.
I'll take the piece of paper.
The piece of paper on it has written descriptions. You recognize Ardrins, Saunders, Souls, Kindreds, and Galils.
Renan and I are not on this.
Neither of you are. Nor is Max.
There are no tear marks or anything.
It is a single sheet.
Okay.
These descriptions were given to us in secret.
So not notes after the fact.
No. It appears that they are of some interest to the Empire. Now, our position as a caravan for imperial goods of the variety that we carry comes at quite a cost and is very lucrative. It is, as you can imagine, a position that many a caravan company would kill for. Now, the Empire has undoubtedly more mysteries than there are sands in these dune seas that we find ourselves in. But it does strike me as a particular note that these individuals we had been commissioned to bring on as a protective mercenary for us. I know Liao has asked of you to keep an eye on things and see what you might notice. I want to make sure that there are no plans or moves that the Empire is trying to make to replace us. These mercenary types tend to favor coin over all else. if you get the sneaking suspicion that any of them might be working for another company, that they might be or have nefarious interests in coming along with us, keep an eye on that, would you?
I can certainly pay a closer attention to our armed companions. Though, there is a possibility.
I'm listening.
The Silken traders were attacked recently, right? Before this journey.
Indeed they were. Something that, might I remind you, has not happened to that severity. At least not in recent history.
Lee told me about your exclusivity with the Empire for certain trade routes. I have to wonder if maybe they've lost a little bit of faith and are checking up. Perhaps this is not the competition. Perhaps this is the Empire itself.
Keeping an eye on their interests.
Being a little more hands-on, making sure things go according to plan.
You can see the notions kind of running through her mind as she's like seems to be trying to think and calculate these things. You do bring up an interesting point. Well, I trust that you take this to the grave.
My loyalty lies with this contract. Otherwise, I wouldn't get very far in this line of work.
That's true. You wouldn't get very far at all. She kind of looks at you and you get the feeling that there's maybe a mild undertone of a threat there. Good. Keep an eye on them. Particularly, if I might focus your efforts. Particularly that drow fella. He knew a good deal about what we were carrying, which tipped me off to believe that maybe he knew more than he was letting on. The others... No offense to them, but they don't seem quite as astute as he.
If my suspicions are correct, then I wouldn't press it too far. You know how the Empire likes to feel like they have control.
Indeed. Our little secret, then.
Shall I play something for you before I go?
She looks at you appraisingly from head to toe. Maybe another night.
I bow. 1 foot behind the other while standing from the seat.
Okay. She puts the book next. She takes the paper back from you, puts it in her book, and places it at the side of the bed on the floor, and lays back. And lets you leave the tent.
I do so.
All right. Okay. Well, now that that's done with, you guys settle in for an evening, working out
turn
your
the broadcast off too, so that like when we're in the same space, he's not getting
Feedback.
All right.
Just pressing 2 speakers together.
All right, go for it. Anything else you guys are wanting to do before the night begins, quote unquote?
Does anyone come near my tent?
Anybody coming near my tent? If you are going to take first nap, no, nobody comes near your tent.
Okay.
I
Is
will
that-
inform Iloin that I'm meant to keep a closer eye on the mercenaries now. So if he sees me interacting with them a little bit, I'm not blowing our cover.
Gotcha. Yeah. Alrighty. All right. Anything else for the time being? No? All right. The night passes, or day passes, with relative quietness. Not much is discovered or no, I guess discovered is not the right word. Not much is like seen outside of the camp. There's no sounds of animal or humanoid outside from your traveling companions. And as the day starts to settle into night, the camp comes live again, and you gather together to head out for your next leg of your journey. I'm assuming you guys are gonna post up the same way you did before.
Mhm.
Okay.
Figured why not?
Excellent. Go ahead then. Someone, Kindred, if you'll roll for another d6 for me.
I won't, but
Roll
Mal's will.
another d6 for me, not 4d6.
That's a 6.
And I, for one, will be taking a much needed flight before we take off.
Zap, lightning bolt.
What is that? Psst. Shoot him down.
Sending a lightning bolt towards me would be the wrong choice.
All right. If you would be so kind, roll me a d100.
Ooh. Let's fight. 1 star. Stand 1 star.
Come on.
That is.
Sandworm.
You find a village of gnomes.
Wait a minute.
It's sandwich.
Hey, no, you're fired.
That's an 8.
An 8?
Because the double 0 is less than 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Because I'm like, oh, that's 108. But I'm like, wait a minute.
Or 800.
All right. Cool. As you guys settle up and get ready to head out for the evening, for the evening, setting into the night, Kindred, you do a quick little circle of flight, and you see something growing in the sands just above the ridge where you guys were at.
Whoever I see first, I'm messaging. Heads up, there's something growing. Let's hope it's nothing, and I'm gonna go check it out. Fly over.
Flying over to it, you see a solitary flower growing from the desert. The hard stone is cracked around it, looking like this thing had forced its way up through the cement-like sand that it sits around.
As I'm like hovering well above it, looking at it, I'm gonna message Mouse to fly by it to get a closer look. That way I can see what we're dealing with.
It just looks like it's a strange looking flower. It's just single dark green stem, some thorny looking leaves on either side, and 5 really dark purple petals that just sit out facing towards the last direction that the sun was setting in.
Well, that's obviously a trap as he comes back and lands on the tip of the feather duster. And then we'll fly down back to the group, and I guess like you said, whoever was more in charge of navigation.
Yes. What was his name? Sayuk.
So this is obviously got to be a trap, and minor illusion, the same flower that I saw. Ever seen these?
No, not along the desert way.
Can I do a history check? Have I read about traps or anything of this sort?
Sure.
Oh gosh, everyone froze. What is happening?
Nothing. They're still here. We're
Yeah,
here.
everyone froze actually.
I'm good.
No, we're good.
Okay.
I noticed a temporary bump too.
A bump,
but
yeah.
We're back.
So, am I able to make a history check on it?
Sure.
Oh, wrong one. 13.
13. I haven't seen this kind of flower before. It doesn't look normal.
So, I don't recall anything about these either, but this is obviously a trap or something. Just asking for it. What's the best course of action you feel?
I mean, it could be a very rare artifact. You might as well see what it is. Maybe it's a special flower. You could take it to Pierados and see if there's any of the botanists there that would recognize it.
Got a botanist.
All right, stand by just in case I pull something much larger. And I'll hover a good 20 feet above it. And then mage hand scoop and from underneath pluck it.
It plucks. And as you pluck it, it floats up into the air and your mage hand up to you. Nothing happens immediately. And then a body is revealed on the ground. Face down. Skin blistered. A human. A man. His clothes, the little that he has left, are rags.
I'm going to take the flower and kind of shake off the sand and tuck it in my bag. And then fly down and I don't know, kind of take a deep breath and then close my eyes and flash. When I open them, they flash, and I cast Detect Magic.
There was the slightest fading essence of alteration, but is now starting to diminish and fade away.
And then I'll take the flower back out and look at it real quick.
You see a similar fading essence glowing away from it, or fading away from it, like as if it used to have been glowing at one time and is now no longer. The man shifts and rolls over onto his back.
Shh. Push the sand over him.
There's no sand here. It just looks like sand. It's just stone. But as you turn
I cast
him,
mold earth and recovers.
as he turns over,
Nope. Refusal of the call.
as he turns over, you see that his eyebrow is missing. As if that and part of his head has been shaved.
You start drawing.
Unscalped.
Not scalped, just shaved.
Like sandblasted off, or
Nope.
Like
Just
the
like half of his hair on one side and one eyebrow has been
Why are
shaved.
y'all asking? Y'all don't see him, okay? It's just me. Nobody knows about his body.
It's his name, Gabriel.
And that is where we are going to end for tonight.
Uh-oh.
But
Oh, dead
He won't
body.
he won't be
Oh,
alive
not
much
dead
longer,
body.
Renan.
he won't be alive much longer. Oh my god, you guys are ridiculous.
Solving the problem. Solving the problem. Ain't
Yeah.
problem solved.
You guys are terrible. Well, that was relatively a wild episode. Now, as we have a couple people that are sitting here waiting for something exciting, I do have a little extra scene to play for you guys. One more for a wild day that the party has had so far, with all sorts of
Is this our
revelations.
Christmas present?
You could call it that.
Oh no.
It is a present. It is definitely a gift. How about that? It is definitely a gift.
Can I return it?
We don't want it.
A gift.
I want to
gift.
return it.
You don't even know what it is yet.
It's coming from you. I want to return it.
Wow, actually,
Am I wrong?
No, it is not. It's only slightly coming from me. It is mostly coming from our friends over at the Grouch Couch. So, without further ado, let me play for you the gem of. And I'm putting this in quotation marks. What I'm giving you your reward, your eternal reward. This
Your eternal reward.
we're gonna say that across the field of vision, you see a few days earlier. And without further ado, here we go.
Ah, it's a good day to be guards of Periodos.
Ah, good day indeed.
For the peace of the kingdom.
Peace
For
of
the
kingdom.
peace of the kingdom. For the king.
Yeah, it's all right. For the queen.
For the queen.
For the princess.
For the
For the
queen.
princess. We haven't had danger
I
around
think
here
something's
in a long
prowling around here.
But now, there's something prowling around here.
Must have been the wind.
Must have been the wind.
Oi.
Wait.
Hey,
I hear
you
it
all
too.
are also paranoid about things prowling around here. Have you
There
ever
is
stopped
something
and
prowling.
considered? All right.
There's something prowling.
There's
Wait.
something prowling around here.
Down there. Is that a zombie T-Rex?
No, can't be.
We haven't had one
It
of
might
them in
be.
forever. Well, it
Never.
might be. Yeah.
You
God,
might
Nate,
want to go check that out.
go down there and check that out.
Check it out.
Me? You want me to go down there? I haven't had lunch yet.
Well, you can have lunch after you check out the zombie T-Rex.
Check out the zombie T-Rex.
Yeah.
All right, but you're getting the next one.
All right.
Sure.
Sure. For the peace of the kingdom.
For the peace.
How's
Yeah.
it look down there, Nate?
I'm fairly confident that it's definitely a zombie T-Rex.
Oi.
Oh.
Definitely.
Oh.
It's all right, big guy. I'm just here to get. Whoa!
Oh,
Careful,
no.
Nate. He looks hungry.
He hasn't had his lunch break yet.
You know what that's like.
It's got me! Oh
it's got
God!
him.
Oh, that's
It's got him. That's got him.
The irony!
It's got him.
It's got
I
him.
was one to want the lunch break when and now I
Somebody
am
should
the
call
lunch
for
break.
help.
You are the
He's
lunch.
the lunch break.
Oh God!
Irony.
Oh God!
Did you
One
clock
of my
out for your
children I
lunch
died
break,
in a
Nate?
hilarious way.
Oh no. The zombie T-Rex. Dwarf guard Connor. Go down there and help him.
You should go check that out.
You want me to go down there?
Yeah.
Make sure you punch out for lunch first. You know, just
He's
in
still
case anything
alive.
happens.
I think he's dead.
I guess.
Are you dead?
I think he's dead.
No,
I'm
you
gonna-
should go and check it out.
All right, I'm gonna go down there. I'm going down.
All right. Whoa. How's it look?
Oh, he got down there pretty fast.
It's definitely a zombie T-Rex. I can confirm it from here.
Oh no!
No, get a little bit closer.
You sure?
Just
Yeah.
to make sure.
Yep, it's definitely a zombie T-Rex. I can see it.
Oh.
He's
Are
angry.
you sure? Check its fangs.
Yeah, if he's angry, I'll try to check his fangs and check it. Whoa, he's got me.
He's got him.
Oh no, he's got him.
He's biting me arms.
Oh,
He's biting
his
God.
arms.
He's biting me a second time. The second time he's biting.
A second time he's
Oh,
biting.
now.
Somebody should call for help.
Somebody
I'm
should
calling
come.
for help right now. Help!
Somebody
Help
should
me.
help him.
Yes.
I'm sleepy and trained.
Get down there and help him. Get down there and help him.
Oh, you want me to help him?
Yes. Confirm that that's a zombie T-Rex.
All right, but okay. I'm gonna punch out for lunch first, just in case anything happens.
Oh yeah, you wanna make sure you get the hour. Oh. What's it look like?
Well, I think that might just happen to be a ginormous zombie T-Rex.
Really? I don't really believe
Yeah.
you. Hold on, I'm gonna come down there. We'll check it out together. All right? Don't die.
All right.
Are you still
Okay.
alive? Because I'm coming. I'm gonna come down there.
Look at its face.
Oh,
It's
Jesus.
so big and so nasty.
So, okay, here I come.
We should call for help.
Oh, no, that's definitely a zombie T-Rex.
Yeah, it
Cheers.
is.
Oh no.
Well, yeah. Wait, hold
We're
on.
gonna
We should
fucking-
call for help for maybe a couple of months.
Yeah, but not like 1 month. And not like
Not
3
three
months,
means.
but like 2 months.
Just two
of them.
2 months.
2
Somebody
months.
help us. Oh,
Yeah.
it's got me. Ow. Ow,
it's
so
got me too.
painful.
Oh no.
Oh, it's got me. Oh, it's right in my sternum.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I'm
think I'm dead
bleeding.
now.
Oh,
Yes,
that's a
I'm
lot
dead.
of blood. Are you dead yet?
I am dead.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
I'm also
alright.
dead
I
down
don't feel
there.
so-
We're
Oh,
all
you're
dead
dead
down
too.
there.
Oh, I don't feel good.
We're all dead. Wait, I think that's Nate on the tower.
Oh, that son of a bitch.
Oh, he took his lunch break. What an asshole.
Oh, what? Oh, damn it. Well, I'm dying now. I'll see you
Okay,
later.
we're all dead. Hopefully someone saves the town of Periodos.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you
I'm
guys.
sorry, guards, that Saundra and I were not able to make it to you in time.
Oh, I love it so
if only
much.
somebody had 2 monks.
not one, not 3, but 2. 2 monks. That's what you needed. Oh my goodness. No, not
Could have been-
directed.
We could have been helpful here if we had not run into that wall o' sand dune. We lost the day.
Exactly, it was the dunes.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
the dune.
Roll of the dice. Can't help it.
Oh my god.
Dune
I hope the guards have good workman's comp. In Gyarados.
Not if they clocked out for
life
lunch already.
insurance.
They're on a
Workman's
legal
comp
costs.
a corpse, although it is Thay.
Because they're,
Oh, yeah.
they're dead.
Oh, yeah.
They're dead. They did say so. They did say
They
that
said
were
they
dead.
died. Yeah.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Couple of
Dying in
times.
Fae is
In the
basically a
stern.
promotion, so...
None of them got a lunch break.
The T-Rex.
No, no,
did.
no. One of
Zombie
them
Rex
clocked
did.
out for his lunch
Oh, yeah,
break
yeah, yeah.
and still worked on off the clock. Like,
He
what
did.
the hell?
Yeah.
Like an idiot.
Oh,
They
zombie
did get to
T-Rex.
participate
No.
in a lunch break.
Oh my
Not as
god.
expected.
5 minutes, 5 seconds of their lunch break.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Maritime Gamer and Grouch Couch and Fishy and Connor, Tavern Talks over there for helping out with that. That was great.
That was
My theory, those are the
That's a Christmas
same
miracle.
zombie guards they've had for like 300 years. They just keep smushing them back together and putting them on the wall.
That's when they said that they're dying.
Yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and
They're
see
just
what
so blasé about it. They've been through it before.
we'll have to wait and see what happens once we get
And
there for
by
the
the
peace of
way-
the kingdom.
Khalil,
Yes,
we are
ma'am.
not making the T-Rex one of your pets.
I
No.
cannot agree to this. Sorry.
You get one. Do you want a T-Rex or you want a Selfang? Which one?
Oh no.
You want your what or you want your god?
Sailbag.
I do love, yes, no, for real, Sonder, the Skyrim reference that Tavern Talks, which is Fishy, kept doing, was like, must have been the wind. I loved it. I love it. All of it. All of it was so good. Thank you guys once again. Thank you, Hannah from Bards, New York. Thank you, Grouch Couch from the Grouch Couch, and all of you wonderful maniacs over there that I love so dearly. There's something prowling around here.
My favorite is when they have an arrow in the head. They're just like, oh, it must have been my imagination.
Must have been the wind.
Somehow I
From
didn't
my own
expect
arrow,
that
I
Grouch
shot
Couch
across the
would
way.
be from the Grouch Couch, and here we are.
I know, right? Imagine. Wild. The Grouch Couch crew from the Grouch Couch. Turkey and Fishy and Nate and Connor. You guys you guys still live on in our hearts, despite the fact that your characters maybe got eaten.
The stomach of
I love that they
Santos
were
Rex.
basically like third generation genome soldiers from Metal Gear Solid.
Oh my god. But yeah, go check out Grouch Couch. And they're about to start their new season, I think, next month. So yeah, go check them out. They're amazing. A wonderful crew of dastardly brilliant individuals. But yeah, that about so I feel like we had the full range of emotions today. We had little hearts emojis, we had terror, we had not quite
Bodies to hide.
but yeah.
An inexplicable fear of flowers from Kindred.
Yeah. All right,
To be
cool.
fair, he just got over what a mushroom did to him. So
You see what
true.
plants
Hey,
have
but
been.
mushrooms are
Scary
more
plants.
Yeah.
Well, at least we're not seeing
didn't you guys get attacked by a
demon.
grass monster in the Yearwood? So
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It was partly stone.
Yeah, with a little bit of
grass.
oh my god.
You turfed
I love it. Yep. All right. So yeah, the first will be your first day of your new season. Cool. All right. Well, with that, I think we're coming to a close. We are kind of seeing how things go next week, so we might be here next Tuesday, probably, but we'll just play it by ear, and we'll keep you guys posted in the Discord, which, you know, if you don't already know it, there is the Discord invite. You guys are welcome to come and hang out with us there anytime. But until next week, you know, stay fey, be brave.
And if you're looking for us on the YouTube, it's Game of Santos.
Yes. There you go, YouTube. It's you look up Game of Santos, D&D. That's how you find it. Okay, well, I think that about covers it. So, without further ado, we'll say goodnight. Good night!
Hey.
Long live they.